CTHULHU Jack.
In revisiting some classics from my viewing past, I couldn't let this hidden diskette of a movie go without a review, especially since Arrow Video is releasing it on 4K in June. This to me is criminal how long it took for a film like this to finally make a proper release. Back in 1995, when I was in the City of Angels, I took a chance on this unknown indie horror film that really keeps you on the edge of your seat once the director yells
cut. Brilliant.
So much so I ended up checking it out 3 more times on the initial run. I'm talking about Mute Witness. Shot in Russia at the time, due to it being cheaper than Chicago from where the original story took place in the script, I have to say, you really feel the helplessness for...
Hello, this is Billy Hughes speaking.
This microcosm that director Anthony Waller sets up for full immersion viewing has you gripping the armchair or your squeeze next to you. After a day of shooting an over-exaggerated death scene, Billy Hughes, the mute makeup effects artist, left something behind in the studio. Her sister Karen, the script supervisor and her goofball of a boyfriend and the director of this schlock opening footage, Andy, take off, leaving her there. Once inside, this location really takes on its own vibe, and cinematographer Egon Verdon manages to exploit every disgusting aspect. With a haze that lingers in the air like a chemical factory leak, to the fluorescence, you really feel transported back into a 1970s grindhouse vibe. Billy manages to stumble into one of those films, witnessing the demise of said actress, where she quickly scurries away, losing a diskette under an armoire that will cause further problems for her down the road, only to be followed and chased on some of the most intense cat-and-mouse sequences ever. Viewing this once again after all these years, it still holds up 100%. Lucky for Billy, her sister and Andy return after she doesn't show for dinner. Terrified while being subdued by the cameraman, Leosha, police get involved, and after much back and forth, Billy is seen as possibly fabricating much of the events.
Sorry, I can do nothing for you now. But I will call you after I see the film, okay?
Once she is dropped off at her flat, we bounce back to the police department where Karen handed over the film.
If it is what I think it is, our witness, Billy Hughes, is in great danger.
In the end, the footage was a dud, with it being the bad take shot at the opening. This doesn't stop the man they call
The Reaper,
who's now hell-bent on taking down Billy and cut free any loose ends.
Did it go smoothly?
Yes, of course. No problem.
And whose cameo, by the way, you wouldn't expect in 100 years. Detective Larson arrives at Billy's flat not a moment too soon. This is after...
We send somebody immediately. Hello?
Another sequence that just has you biting your lip, mixed in with the downstairs neighbor flipping his lid for a breath of comedy. The final act brings us back to the studio where it all began. I'm going to leave it there, dear viewers, only to not spoil further. The Billy storyline is some of the best filmmaking I've seen then and since. Andy and Karen are the only American actors in the film, and... well, I'll let Andy explain their performances.
When I said more,
Когда я говорил еще,
I didn't mean trash the fucking set.
They're not that bad. But with this recent viewing, as exaggerated as they can get, it does break the tightened horror elements long enough for you to catch your breath. Marina Zudina, who plays Billy, is so good and a tough gal to boot. What they have her doing in this film is not easy. This is an unsung hero of a horror film that should be out there a little more. Even if you can't shout it from the mountains, share it any which way you can. Until next time. So click links below to be notified. Many thanks for the support, and Hail Cthulhu!